It's kind of a working title where it's kind of like the most important lesson I've learned, or something kind of like that, and I just will probably think of a better title after I finished writing or recording this. But at the moment, it's more just like a general discussion about like what I've learned and what is like the most important mindset lesson that I have learned in my life, if that makes sense. I don't feel super like recording at the moment, but I know I should, so I am going to, so hopefully that will come across, that won't seem, or I won't seem super uninterested in recording today. We'll find out. When I was trying to get into medical school, I was at the emergency room shadowing a physician. I'll call him Dr. C. Now, I watched Dr. C clean infected buttholes, which was actually one of the least gross parts of the night. But I watched this doctor succeed in what was essentially the cesspit of society. Now, Dr. C, while talking to me, actually taught me one of the most important lessons I've probably ever learned. This is the only video you ever watch from me. I think every hour I've ever put into YouTube will be worth it because I think this is that important. I already knew this lesson, I think instinctively. It got me through law school, it got me into medical school, but the problem is I never knew how to articulate it, and it has to do with contempt. Now, this is a lesson on the kind of resentment that you don't really think about, even though it's running your entire life. Again, I just never was able to articulate it until recently. Dr. C, who's an emergency physician in his late 30s, after telling me that the best tool for a single doctor to have success with women
Yeah, boy.
was to have a hot tub. He said he had a 100% success rate with women once he got them into the hot tub. But he then proceeded to tell me, Jonathan, when working with patients and with women, all conflict comes from mismatched expectations. People expect something to happen or to be treated in a certain way or for people to behave in a certain way, and nothing makes people more upset than those expectations being let down. Essentially, if you are not clear about your expectations, you're just asking for trouble. I spent a lot of time thinking about this, and I think there's a lot of truth to what Dr. C said. However, I think I actually take it a step further. You can absolutely have mismatched expectations with other people, but you can also have mismatched expectations with yourself. And sometimes they are even a lack of expectations. See, I've oftentimes found myself upset with other people because I won't have time to do the things I care about because they were letting me down in some way, or because they made it impossible for me to do things I wanted to do. I was going to bed last night and I've started journaling, and I was just too tired to do any of the journaling that I've set myself up to do. And I felt upset at other people. I was like, ugh, if other people had done the things they said they would do and given me time to respond, I would have time to do the things later in the day that I wanted to do. I would have time to journal if people hadn't wasted my time today. But this is an enormous trap. First, it builds this inner contempt for other people. At the University of Washington lived an old hermit named John Gottman, an ancient psychologist who may or may not have been practicing since the Holy Crusades. Dr. Gottman was able to predict with 95% accuracy whether or not couples would actually get divorced in what he called the love lab. The most powerful predictor for what Gottman was able to figure out, what would predict divorce for couples, was contempt. In fact, contempt was a part of what he called the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse of a failing marriage. Criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. These were all indicators of a failing relationship.
But we're supposed to be friends forever.
In fact, a professor who worked with Gottman found that they could predict a failing marriage in less than 3 minutes. Feeding contempt or any of these horsemen towards anyone in your life, especially yourself, is damning your relationship. See, the first punishment that I employ for people failing to meet the expectations in my life is to deploy one of the horsemen of a failing relationship apocalypse even toward yourself. So what exactly is the golden lesson that I have learned It's been more than just even unclear expectations. I have held unfair expectations. I've even had unkind expectations. The outcome of people letting me down or putting me in a bad position is I hold them in contempt, I criticize them, I become defensive, and I stonewall. And I've even been known to aim the cannon of resentment at myself internally. See, nobody is responsible for failing to meet expectations that is not clearly articulated to them. Nobody is even responsible for your own happiness. When you feel the call of the horseman, you should do the opposite. Don't criticize, compromise, and compliment. They are imperfect and they need someone to look out for them. When you feel contempt, love them, love yourself. Because I think everyone is made to be loved. When you feel defensive, there doesn't even have to be a reason for why someone is attacking you. Oftentimes, I think most people don't know why they're lashing out. Nobody has ever reasoned someone out of a position or a logical position that they didn't reason themselves into in the first place. If you feel like stonewalling, let them in. Look them in the eyes and don't ignore your own feelings. Don't stonewall yourself. Stop blaming other people for not being what you want, and also stop blaming yourself for failing. You're either going to trend upwards or you're going to trend down, and any contribution to these negative treatment of other people or yourself will dictate where your stocks in your own personal life are going, up or down. Changing your mindset to acceptance and forgiveness is necessary to grow relationships, which will change your entire life. So, what did I learn? The next time you feel resentment or because of failed expectations keeping you from what you want in life, reflect on it. The next time you feel resentment for other people failing to meet expectations that you have, or yourself failing to meet expectations that you have that are keeping you from what you want in life, reflect on it and do what you can do in your own power to make the change yourself, but for the betterment of others and yourself. Never feed the victim mentality where it's all other people's fault and, if only someone else did something, I would be better off. So what did I do when I felt like I couldn't journal because everyone had taken all my time and energy? Well, I said I was thankful that I got to be there for those people, and I journaled anyways. Clearly articulate your expectations with others. No one knew this was interfering or I was giving too much. I need to remember to tell people if they're taking too much from me. I need to remember to ask people for grace and forgiveness when I'm failing to meet their expectations. In fact, sometimes they haven't told me what they're expecting from me, and now it's my turn to ask, hey, what are your expectations here? Remember, you can still articulate everything that you have, all your expectations you have, and if they're still failing to meet your expectations, sometimes it's okay to end relationships or to say, hey, I need to look out for myself and protect my own emotions as well. But at the end of the day, blaming them and feeling resentment will only hurt yourself. You have the strength to be there for other people and to do things for yourself at the same time. Just remember, you're investing in the up or the down, and it's a lot better to spend the extra energy and invest in the love for yourself and for others than to condemn and hold in contempt and resent others around you. It's infectious and it hurts. I also know that I have a much easier time being kinder to other people when I get good sleep. I have a video on getting good sleep somewhere around here. You should watch it. I also have a Discord that we're talking about things that make us better people and pursue the professions and careers and dreams that we want in life. So that's probably somewhere down here. So thanks for watching. I hope you have good expectations for your day, and like, comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all later.
Even toward yourself.